Hi, for today's presentation about the term Project Information Technology 1, I'm going to compare an accountant job with the theory we saw in class for Access and PowerPoint. So I'll talk to you about the similarities, so like creating databases, tables, queries, and reports with Access, and creating professional presentations with PowerPoint, and differences such as unprofessional characteristics, mainly from PowerPoint, such as like transitions, effects, colors, and sounds, um, that take off a little bit about take out a little bit the professional aspect of our presentation. Um, I'm going to relate about the reality and theory when an accountant uses Access and PowerPoint, and I'm also going to show you how an accountant may use Access and PowerPoint for doing his daily tasks. So for Access, I'm going to mainly talk about modules 6 and 7 and talking about account databases, relationships, queries, and reports. And for PowerPoint, I'm mainly going to focus on module 4, 5, and 6 and showing to you how an accountant could do a presentation for a accountant convention. And I'm going to finish off by showing the website I made, my web page using Wix, which regroups all the information in one place. So I start off by showing you my access I did. So I created tables, and for to insert the data, I actually used here external data, new data source, from file, and text file. So that's how I inserted my data for these four tables. So I'm going to show you. So that is a pretty standard table, just account number, account name with information related to it. And now for the account manager table, there's more specific things such as boxes that you can check if it relates to the title here. So in this case, PHR certification. You can also add special skills, so you can add a little paragraph to maybe put more information. And you can also add a picture, which will appear when you change view. And you can also add documents related to the person or the account number. Uh, and with Access, we can also create relationships, so that actually links the tables together. So in this case, I related the four tables, so account manager, account, workshop offerings, and workshop. So how you do this is you take similar elements from each table to link them together, and that is called a one to infinite relationship. You can then use those relationships when creating queries. So here in this query, I use account manager, account, and workshop offerings, and we can see that the relationships appear here, here, and here. And queries, you can actually take out certain elements of each of the different tables into one. Like it's kind of if you're creating one database from multiple tables, and you can also add different criterias such as greater than September 2016 and things like that. By using Access, you can also create reports. So here we use the table workshop offerings and the table account. So we took out the elements we needed. And here, instead of simply putting like, so we kind of inversed these columns. So usually we see kind of hours spent, hours remaining, and then total hours. But in this case, we put total hours, hours spent, and then hours remaining. So I actually created a formula for this column, which subtracts total hours with hours spent. And the difference appears in this column's hours remaining. That creates a report using workshop offerings and account table. And now for PowerPoint, I'm going to show you how a accountant could use PowerPoint in his daily tasks. In this case, I'm I kind of did if a accountant did a prepared a presentation for a accounting convention. In PowerPoint, we can actually add comments. So here we can see that uh, maybe the presentator asked his colleague to check his presentation. He gave a comment, great presentation, good luck at the convention. And the presentator responded, thank you. So you can actually delete whichever comments you want. So I could delete this comment right here. I could say something else. I could say, good luck to you. I could even delete the first comment, whichever I like. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna run the presentation and talk to you about a little bit about the characteristics. So here I first inserted a SmartArt graph, and for each element I accompanied it with a picture representing the element. So that was pretty much it for that slide. And as you can see in the background, I actually used the same background for slides 1, 2, and 3. Um, it just comes to like personalize a little bit the presentation. So I use debit credit since I was talking about accountants. That's what I chose to put in background. So for slide 2, I decided to talk about the accounting activities for the cash flow. So there's operating, financing, and investing activities. And as you can see here, for the bullets, I actually used dollar signs, which I took from Google Image. So that actually comes and personalizes the presentation even more. And since I was talking about accounting and money, I decided to put a dollar sign. So those bullets is actually module 6. And now for slide 3, I decided to talk about financial reporting standards by creating a 3D pie chart. I actually rotated the graph 340 degrees, and I did an explosion of 30 degrees for the IFRS portion, since it was the most important one. And I even added a caption which says most used in Canada. Still using the same background debit credit as I said earlier. And now, as you can see, I actually use a transition. I used a subtle one. I'm gonna show you. It's Prestige. So I found it was interesting to use in transition, but I didn't want something too out of the ordinary or too wow. I wanted something simple, but that could bring something else to the presentation. For slide 4, I decided to talk about statements. So I talked about the income statement, statement of financial position, and cash flow statement. I inserted a picture in the top left corner, and I also inserted symbols. I decided to use the checkmark symbols uh, so we can visually see which element goes into which statement. So that was pretty much it for the PowerPoint presentation. And now I'm going to finish off by showing you the web page I made for the project. So I used Wix, accountant term project. I put a little information about the web page and about the project in general. And here in the video section, I actually put a little more detail about the video, and I put the link to the video you're currently watching. I also inserted a works cited section right here and also a contact information. Okay, so in conclusion, uh, we showed in this presentation how accountants use Access and PowerPoint and how it is different from theory. So the difference mainly comes with PowerPoint. So as I said earlier, it's preferable to not use too many colors, effects, transitions. You can use some, but it needs to be moderate and don't take the more extraordinary. Take simple but efficient transitions and colors. Um, how is it similar? Well, there's actually a lot of similarities. So there's creating databases, creating queries, creating reports, creating professional presentations. In my case, I decided to make kind of a presentation for a convention, but it could also be a presentation for colleagues or for your superiors. So I demonstrated my point by showing you account databases, relationships, queries, reports with Access, and doing a presentation for accounting convention by using PowerPoint. And I summarized all my information in a website that I created with Wix. And finally, I created a informational video, which you're currently watching, and I use my screen recorder for that specific video. So that is my works cited, and thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video.